Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here for the Village of Airmont Community Design Review Committee, Tuesday, March 11th at 11:06. Our first application on the agenda is Congregation Ostilla for 2 Petrix Road for a proposed freestanding place of worship and a proposed site plan. Alec, I did send 2 letters to Chris. I didn't know you were on. Do I need to send them to you, or we could Al could just talk to them?
Let me see if I can pull him up. He did flip me some emails. I just want to make sure I have
Yeah, I
those.
literally got them maybe 10 minutes before the meet. One was 10 minutes and one was 5 minutes before the meeting.
Are
But
they for 2 Beatrix or
yeah,
51
2
Church?
Beatrix and 51 Church. So you
I
can see
did
them.
get them.
Okay.
Yeah, he sent them to me. Which
Okay.
one are we talking about right now? What's the
Right
address?
now we're talking about 2 Beatrix.
Got it. Okay.
And for 2 Beatrix, we have Moshe Pensakovitz on and Rhonda Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So this is for an application for a freestanding house of worship. It's in the zone R40 zone.
Rhonda, is it it's under 10,000 square feet, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't
Yeah.
need a special permit.
and a total of 54 parking spaces are required and 25 are provided. We're going to need a couple of variances for minimum front yard, side yard, development coverage, and for the parking.
What about the side setback that's in the Fusco letter?
Side setback, yes.
Okay. So,
Yeah, let's see the Fusco letter, just make sure it's the same.
so development coverage, parking's not in there, but we can, it says a parking waiver, but, okay, so we have parking. Yeah, because that's more than the planning board can approve. They can only do
They can
25%.
only do 25, yeah,
Yeah.
25%.
So then you're,
that one is
okay,
more than 50%, right? It's
Right,
yeah,
yes.
it's 40, it's 54%, 53%.
yeah. So that will have to be a variance for the parking, minimum front yard developmental coverage, and the side setback. Okay. All right.
So this is the second time we're in front of the board. We responded to the previous meeting, a few items that the board wanted to see. We added the handicap parking in the front, the additional parking on the Beatrix side. We provided architectural plans.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
made sure the handicapped, the ADA, there's an ADA walkway from the ADA parkings to the main entrance, so that we don't have an issue with the ADA access.
Okay. Doesn't need a GML, but I need to send it to SOAR, DPW, and health. The parking, the traffic impacts, we're gonna need some sort of study or a minimum a report based on the
Now, we
occupancy
need a
load.
traffic study, because this is, I just calculated out the occupancy is about 140 people.
Okay, yeah, usually when it's 60 or more, we do traffic study. Okay. So we need a traffic study for when you go to planning.
Lou, what's the calculation?
I actually, because your drawing only shows one dimension of the room, I couldn't figure it out by square footage. I counted the
Okay.
chairs put in the drawing. So based on the vague drawing that you got 49 people on each side of the main sanctuary area and 40 in the women's area. So it looks like you got 89 downstairs for the men. I mean 98 downstairs for the men and 40 upstairs.
Okay, but a lot of, I say for most of it, it's parents and kids. We don't have 140 congregants.
Correct. And
At
the
all.
problem I based it on your seating, but if I base it on square footage and do it at 15 square feet, it's probably going to come out higher. So you take the win while you can.
Okay. So that was the planning comments. There's no engineering.
Yeah, they completed the engineering comments I had previously.
Yep.
The ADA access, et cetera.
There's no stormwater or any of that. They did all that?
They did what I needed, yes.
Yep. Okay, great. Yeah, I see it here now in the response. Okay.
Is this going to be sprinklered?
If you say so. Lou, I'll change the sprinkler for the traffic study because the traffic study really makes no sense.
I wish I had
think
that option because I
I
would
can-
rather have the
I can
sprinkler.
try to provide a traffic report, but
The problem is it's on the intersection of two major or two decent sized roads, and the traffic is going to be a noticeable issue. But I would prefer the sprinklers if I have that option.
Well, and yeah, the right down the street is the next application. That is
Right.
350 students, I think.
Well, I mean, you've been up on that road. It's a racetrack there. People go zooming through there like it's the Indy 500. So anybody, if we start running cars on the street, we're going to have a lot of accidents and a lot of bodies. So whatever we put in that building is going to have to fit in the parking lot.
And we've been doing it for the previous houses of worship as well.
okay.
Anybody over 60 people usually.
Yes.
You can have-
There's
what's his face? Paul's buddy. What's his name? The traffic engineer.
Harry
Uh,
Well,
Baker.
for 51 Church, we took Collier's.
Correct.
Ron,
Ron Riemann.
yeah, Ron
Right.
Riemann. But I feel like for this, the traffic study is so extensive. I mean, we're there, we're using it. It hasn't impacted anyone.
You're using it now at this occupancy rate?
no,
Okay.
you're tripling the size of what your available area. If you build
Okay.
it, they will come. You know that, right?
What?
If you build it, they will come. You make
You
it
know,
big, people are going to show up.
there's many more in the area.
I know.
We're just trying to make work for what we have right now. So
Harry Baker. Maybe Harry Baker should do the traffic study. He could write a memo right now from home.
From Florida.
There are two new memos, one from the fire inspector dated February 25th that just says that the height should be clearly shown on the plan and be less than 30 feet to the eaves.
I believe that's showing on the.
Okay, no, I know, I'm just reading what's here. And then there's a letter from Tallman Fire dated March 1st. Rhonda, I don't know if Rachel shared those with you.
Yeah, I have them somewhere.
I
I don't
have
have
the
them in
letter.
front of me right now, but I could get them.
They're still requesting the plans to show the turning radius of a 20 tower able to enter the parking lot. When set up, the tower's outriggers have a span of 19 feet 1 inch. This hinges on all other apparatus responding and positioning according to public roads. The tower ladder needs access to the parking area, accessing the rear of the building with the ladder. In the event of a fire, we place our apparatus in the areas, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes on from there. So I don't know.
We'll try, can we contact him and talk to him?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll see what I can, I'll talk to him and make sure that he's, happy with whatever we get, but.
Yeah,
Rhonda,
this way, if we get another letter for when it does go to the next meeting, it's done.
Because the driveway is less than 150 feet, so he shouldn't need a turnaround on site. But I don't know, maybe he's talking about the entrance at Smith Road and the curve, the radius to get in there. I'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know that he's talking about a turnaround. You'd have to ask him. I think it's just be able to enter the parking lot.
All
I
right, so
think
yeah,
the access that you put on that driveway is a little too slab sided. You might want it radiused a little bit more so you can, or run a mountable curb on it.
okay,
Because the truck won't be able to swing at that angle either uphill or downhill.
Right, Rhonda, he's looking to be able to pull into the parking lot. He needs 19 feet and 1 inch to open up his riggers. I think we have
we have
sufficient space
24
for,
feet.
right, so
Right.
we have sufficient space. If we can get the radius working for him to come in, then we should do it.
Okay.
But
Right.
by code, we're absolutely not required.
Well, you're not required to have a turnaround. But you're required to access two sides of the building, so you can access one from the road and one from the parking lot. That's what his letter says.
Okay,
Lou, if I'm sprinkled, I get 600 feet from a hydrant.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, and this is Tolman Fire, so they ask for whatever they can. We'll try to accommodate as much as we could.
Okay. Lou, do you have any other comments?
No, that was it.
Next steps, everybody?
I'm good with it at this point.
All right, so in order to go to planning, you'll need to work on the traffic, the turning, whatever, access or whatever it is to get into the driveway with the Tallman Fire Department. And Lou, is there anything else you need on the plans or the architecturals? You're good?
Sprinkler,
Sprinkler, thank you.
Nice.
Sprinklers. Okay. All right. So-
Do I have to do I have to have the traffic study at the first planning board meeting while they declare themselves lead agency and
Well, they can first do the notice of intent, which is the 30-day thing. And then when they have some of the other information, I don't know if they would do the lead agency too, but at the very least, they could do the notice of intent. In order to do the environmentals, you definitely need to have the Tallman letter and the traffic completed.
right? So
I
I'm
need-
assuming I'll be by at more than one planning board meeting. So my question is if I could get started
Yes.
and hopefully at the next meeting I'll have my traffic.
Right. Just so you know, the first meeting I will be sending out for comments, so it's a longer time to submit, and I'll go through those dates. But in order to have the traffic, I have to send it to the planning board traffic engineer. So usually for the second meeting, the deadline is 2 weeks before a meeting. I'm going to need it more, the traffic study I'm talking about, more than the 2 weeks in order to get the planning board traffic engineer to review the comments for the
Okay.
next. I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
Would a traffic report suffice, or we need a full traffic study? I guess that's a question
Leave
for
that
Al.
to Lou. Al, I don't know.
well, according to our past precedents, for that amount of significant addition that you're doing, it would have to be a study because we don't let other people not do that. So yes, it would be a study. Particularly the planning board has been very particular about the traffic
Yes.
in the last 2 meetings we've had.
Yeah, and if the village's past practice has always been a traffic study, not just a report for something like this, that's definitely what I would recommend, and I'm sure Rob Noble, the planning board attorney, would agree.
Okay. So
So,
I would try to get in front of the board to just get started, maybe get public hearing open so we can address any additional comments in the meantime while they work on the traffic study so that we don't lose too much time. So I'll be talking to you, Suzanne.
okay, and
getting-
so everybody's fine with them submitting for planning and assuming they do all the things that we need to do.
Yes.
Correct.
I'm fine, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, just so you know, Moshe, April 10th is the deadline for the meeting on May 22nd. But
Okay.
I can send you the schedule. I think I gave it to you, but I'll email it to you after the
Yeah.
meeting. Okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Over.
The next application is Bonus Bina at 51 Church Road for a proposed School of Religious Instruction. for proposed site plan, architecturals, and renderings. And I believe we have Amy on, Amy Mealy for Ira. Rhonda's on again, and I'm not sure who else is on, because I can't tell the names. So that, I also sent the letter just before I logged in.
I have it.
Okay, let's make sure you got it.
It's a letter from Fusco, right? From
Correct, Fusco letter.
Okay.
There's a letter from Tallman Fire. They said all their concerns have been addressed. There's a letter from the fire inspector, February 25th, just asking about the height of the building again to just clearly show. And that's it. And then the Fusco letter, if you want to go through that, Al.
Sure. To begin with, in the first page with the planning comments is it's a special use with general special conditions that need to apply. Projects in unlisted action. I don't believe there's any 239 GML required.
That's correct.
Variances required include parking setback, maximum development coverage, max FAR, and I recommend referral to the ZBA. Also, the variances required as per 210-35C, fence greater than 6 foot, less than 2/3 its height from the property line. The play area fencing, we need clarified, and consider installing wood solid fence or some kind of solid fence and landscaping at neighboring dwellings for the play area at least. Going on engineering comments, a traffic study I was told was ordered, and that's due to the proximity to the intersection and high number of students. SWIP signatures are required by the design engineers, stamp documents and provide with executed E9 notice of intent when approved. Send us an MS4 acceptance form after all of this is done. Approval of determining maneuverability for the Tallman Fire Department. Review by all regulatory agencies. And the access road needs to be 20-foot minimum and does not contain the bus pickup and drop-off area. That's all I have at this time.
Lou, do you have anything?
No, just my standards, sprinklers, and if the height is more than 30 feet, standpipes.
Okay. So what's you're working on a traffic study on this one,
Yes.
with Colliers, correct? Okay.
Colliers, yep, we have received from them something, but we'll submit it, not a full.
Okay, since 2 Beatrix and 51 Church are fairly near each other, I think both traffic studies should take into account
Each
each
other.
other's project.
Good point.
That's what we usually do and have done in the past when things are near or close to one another, when we have multiple projects. I'm not aware of any other projects in that particular radii. Are you, Lou?
No.
No, so I just, if you're not using the same traffic person, you might just want to have them share what the findings are to be inclusive.
Okay.
And then that would be the same. And we normally put things on first as a workshop, and you can do the notice of intent in that. And then the second meeting is typically the public hearing.
Okay.
Okay, it's not really in the code that we do that with the houses of worship. That's why I didn't mention it for the last one. But everything else usually goes first as a workshop for the planning board to hear. They see the comments that I've sent out for, and then we do the notice of intent. And I did check that with Rob this morning, Rob Noble, who's the planning board attorney. Okay,
Suzanne, it's Amy. Hi.
Hi.
So to get on for a workshop meeting, when would it be and when's the submission date for it?
Okay, it's The next submission for the planning board meeting is April 10th for a meeting on May 22nd.
And that'll be for the meeting on May 22nd. Okay.
Yes.
April 10th on the 22nd.
Right
Okay.
now I already have
April 10th, for April 22nd?
10th. Yeah, April 10th by 12 p.m. for a meeting on May 22nd at 7 p.m. I already have 3 applications for May. Just so you know, I'm not saying you not to submit. People change, things change all the time. Usually we try to keep it at 5, maybe 6, but just submit and then we'll deal with the agenda at the time because I don't know what may or may not continue from the prior meeting. I can't answer what's going to continue from March at this point. Continuances usually go first. And then we'll go from there, but you should still submit. Okay? And
Rhonda,
it'll
is
be,
that gonna be a problem or?
No, I don't think that'll be a problem at all.
Okay, thanks.
and I'll send the sheet to both the engineer and to the applicant contact. For planning board, they prefer a smaller size, just the planning board members. And then I'll let you know how many digital copies, because what's on the application, since you don't need a GML and all the agencies would be less. So I'll just email you separately,
Okay.
excuse me,
Thank
on what I
you.
need. Okay. And is the CDRC team okay with going to planning, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought, just confirming. All right, so then we'll move on to planning next.
Great.
Okay.
Any questions from anyone? Okay,
That was
thank
easy.
you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank
day.
you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Suzanne. Bye.
Thank you.